Now in this video, I have a pretty big failure happen. I know that I'm a fishing guide, but I'm not afraid to show my failures when they happen. Stuff like this can happen to anyone, even the best guides out there. Some of them wouldn't admit it because they want you to book trips with them. What I don't want to do is post skunked videos, so after this fishing trip, I'm going to post a short clip of a buddy of mine who caught a fish the other weekend on my boat. That video clip has not been on YouTube at all. I did post it on my Facebook. I'm also going to tell a story about that weekend, and then after that quick clip, I'm going to show what I'm going to do to fix the problem that happened in this video. So without further delay, here's the fishing video. Alright, tonight I'm going to attempt to use small catfish to catch bigger catfish. The spawn for Flathead Catfish is just about to start, and Bullhead Catfish is on the menu when it comes to flatheads. Bullheads like to steal flathead eggs, so they target these guys heavily around the spawn. Or at least that's what I've read and what I've been told. They've been bad luck for me lately. And I don't have any bananas on my boat, so maybe I'll get lucky tonight. Now I'm not going to have all my rods out because I don't have enough bullheads to put all the rods out. I really wanted to do bullheads versus skipjacks, but I couldn't catch any skipjacks. I was out for maybe an hour, 2 hours trying to find some skipjacks right after work, and they weren't biting. So it's bullheads only tonight. And some of these bullheads are of considerable size. Now my confidence level tonight is a little bit on the low side. There's been a lot of rain and this whole creek back here is muddy, muddy, muddy. There's also a lot of sticks and logs and trees in the water. So I'm going to have to be very careful when I leave this place. I've actually caught flatheads at this spot before, but I'm usually on the bank. There's a log that I like to tie to, so I'm trying to fish this a little bit different. This is basically a choke point where a big wide area comes down to a really narrow channel. I spread these out just right. I might get one that's coming in or leaving. I've got 2 more bullheads in there and I'll use them as refresh bait if I catch anything. All right, let's see if I can get a big old flathead tonight. He's really acting up a lot. Maybe there's something trying to eat him right now. Seems like these 2 are the ones acting up, while these 2 outside rods aren't really doing anything. I'm hoping they're sending enough vibration in the water to attract the flatheads over since it's so muddy. I probably could have put a demon dragon or some kind of rattle on there too. I see bait in the water, so there's fish back here. The question is there any flatheads? Oh, oh, oh. There we go. Oh, whoa. Oh man, this was the little one. Pulling the drag right away. Oh, wow. This is a pretty good fish. Oh, man. Broke my leader. Probably should have checked all my leaders before I put them out. Wow. I'm using 40 and 50 pound line as leader line. Some of these have caught a few fish, so there might have been a burr or something on it. It broke pretty high too. Oh man. That was a good fish. I just missed an incredible fish. Of course, I don't know how big it was. It could have been like a 20-pounder, but it felt like a 50-pounder. Can't believe that happened. I guess I will re-rig this and hope for the best. I do have a couple of bullheads left. That right there was a huge mistake. I guess what I'm going to do, I will publish this video even if I don't catch anything tonight, just to show you guys what can happen if you don't change out your leader line, or, you know, make sure it doesn't have any burrs or anything in it. I may go as far as upgrading to like 80-pound line as my leader line instead of 40 and 50-pound. This one right here feels like it's 40-pound line. Live and learn. We all make mistakes. We're only human. That mistake just cost me an enormous fish. At least I think it was enormous. Well, that goes to show something down here in the south will eat a bullhead catfish. I know a lot of the guys up north, that's what they use for catching flatheads with. Like the Northwoods angling guys. I think that's the only thing they can use. And I think they're either using black or brown bullheads. These are all yellow bullheads, which are native down here in the southeast United States. And these guys are usually really timid. They will get on the bottom and they will hide in structure and just not do anything, usually. Of course, when they can't find any structure to hide on, you can see the rods moving around. Maybe another big one will drop by. Still can't get over that I missed that fish. My line broke. How about this? I'm going to put a pole up right now at the top. What do you guys think I should do? Should I continue to use 50-pound big game line and just refresh all of my leaders, or at least do it more often? Should I upgrade to 80-pound big game line or other brand? Or should I just go all out and just go 100-pound line as my leader line, so I won't ever have it break on a big cat, especially if I get lazy and I don't check it? Also, leave a comment below, what leader line do you guys use when you're chasing the big catfish? I like using the big game line because it's cheap, but cheap line obviously can break, as what we saw tonight. So maybe I need to look at something different. And I am really hoping that I can get a flathead tonight to make up for that big miss before the storms get here. It's been storming on and off. We're kind of in the middle of a low pressure system, kind of, which I think is getting the fish up and going and moving around. And I do see storms that are about 100 miles away, so I gotta watch them and take off if they get too close. After losing that fish, I'm definitely going to keep trying to catch a big flathead on bullheads.
A few moments later.
Well, I got some bad news. You guys might not be able to see it on here, but there's a line of storms that is heading my way. There was a line of storms that popped up south of me and they went directly east, so I didn't have to worry about those. But these, they're going to hit me soon. They're just about to hit the Kingston confluence, which is an area that I like to fish a lot, but that's about 30 to 45 minutes away from me. So these showers will be on top of me pretty quick. And they're red. I mean, some of them are showing up as red on this map, which means I need to get off the water. I'm going to continue this video in my garage to show you what I'm going to do about these leaders. Alright, so yeah, that was a pretty big failure. That fish, it had to have been a big fish. It felt like I was fighting an actual log in the water that was swimming. I couldn't turn its head or anything. Now, to prevent this video from being skunked, let's talk about last weekend before I show you what I'm going to do to correct this little gear problem I have. Now, last weekend I actually took the boat out 3 times. The first time was to catch bait for a guided fishing trip. And I only caught 2 skipjacks the entire time I was out on the water, which was several hours. I had to talk to a buddy who was catching skipjacks for his trips because he's a guide and I'm going to not name him because once I met him out on the water with my boat, he gave me a bunch of skipjacks, and then on the way back to the ramp, my boat's just a little bit faster than him, so I left him in my dust. Then I turned around and I didn't see him, and I'm like, I'm not that fast. I ended up turning around, going back upriver, and there he was, floating down the river after hitting a log or something, which broke a plastic piece that's in the shaft of his prop. So I had to tow him back to the ramp, which took about an hour. Definitely not a good start to that weekend. And then I had my client out on the water trying to catch some catfish. I went to several spots that I was sure that would have catfish. Not a single bite. I went to spots that were suggested to me. Not a single bite. And then I started thinking, well, the water is warmer than I thought it would be, and the lake is at summer level, so they might be in the shallows. So we went really, really shallow and started getting dink bites on all of my rods. Now, I had big baits out, so I downsized the bait, and we actually caught maybe an 8-pound or a 5-pound blue catfish. So I didn't skunk my client, but it was a bad day. Although the client did enjoy being out on the boat with me, which is what counts, you know, you call it fishing and not catching. A lot of people expect guides to put you on 60-pound catfish every single trip, but that just doesn't happen. I even know guides that will refuse a trip if you say, I only want a 60-pound catfish. So they just refuse the trip altogether because even for a guide, it's hard to do. And while 60-pound catfish for some of you is a big fish, for a lot of people, a 20-pounder or even a 15-pounder is a big fish. I took a buddy fishing one time and he caught an 8-pounder, and that was the biggest catfish he's ever caught. And then we caught a 30-pounder and he was pretty much speechless. Now the next day I took my buddy David fishing at a different lake. I haven't fished with David in a long time. Some of you might have seen him in some of my older videos. To put it in perspective, he had a stroke when he was a child, so half of his body doesn't work, but he tries his best to do what anybody else can do. He's a very, very intelligent person. And we were out for several hours fishing and not getting any bites or anything. It was yet another dead day, and I thought for sure that we were going to get skunked. Thankfully, I left the camera rolling when I was reeling up all the rods to head back to the ramp and give up. And this happened. I think we got a fish. Hey. Got a fish right here. Oh! Oh, really? Yeah. Right as I'm getting ready to do it. Bring this one in. He went. I hope he's not wrapped up in the anchor rope. We're reeling up to give up today. Here with my buddy David. Whoa, is he really biting that much? Need help? Oh, it's a big one. Reel it, reel it. Oh, he's wrapped up in the anchor line. Okay, there we go. He's out of the anchor line.
All right, get the net. Get the net. Okay, or not.
Stop spinning.
We'll bring him in. I gotta get a picture with this sucker.
Open.
Stop spinning.
Haha.
Oh!
That's a good one.
Okay.
All right, we actually caught a fish tonight, right as we were packing up to leave because I thought we weren't going to catch anything. That's a really nice one. There you go. Oof. All right. That's a future 100-pounder right there. Now, that was definitely a nice fish and may have been one of the bigger fish that David has caught in his life. That's really good. I definitely want to take him fishing more because I got a bigger boat. See if I can get him on a bigger catfish. Now, what am I going to do with this mess? Well, let's take a look. Well, that's a new leader. There's no nicks in it. Probably the one that broke. This one, all kinds of nicks. There's a bunch around the hook. This leader needs to be replaced. This one too, and that one, and this one, and that one. All of my leaders have nicks in them. So a big fish could break almost any one of them. The line that's on all these reels is also getting old. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reline all these reels and put different leader material on them. The line I'm going to use, I'm going to test out this ultra premium monofilament by Soft Steel. I'm staying with 30 pounds, and this is line that I got through my Akuma sponsorship. Akuma is either partnered with or owns Soft Steel. I'm not 100% sure. I probably should know this being sponsored by them, you know. But I want to test it out and see how good it is. And for leader material, since I didn't have time to order it online from Akuma, I'm going to try out this 80-pound clear slime line leader line. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys to death with relining all these and putting rigs on it. If in the future you want to see how I do my leader rig, leave a comment below and I'll do it during a fishing video. I do have my rig pack that I need to fill up with a bunch of pre-snelled leaders anyway. I can do that while fishing or maybe in a separate video at some point. That tackle box was given to me by Rig Wrap over a year ago and it's doing really, really well. I really like it because I'm able to just re-rig while I'm on my boat really fast. Something like that's really good for tournaments if I ever get into tournament fishing. But I want to thank you guys for taking your time out of your day to watch my video. I really appreciate it. And if you like this video, even though it's a failure video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If I can get these rigged up fast enough, I'll probably go back to that spot tonight and see if I can catch a big flathead. Thank you again for watching.